Good evening. Welcome to the Reckoning Brothers podcast. I am Scott, and
I'm I'm Mark.
I'm Josh.
We're here
good
for
evening,
evening
fellas.
drinks, everybody.
Evening
Drinks. Scott, what are you drinking?
Cheers. It's
What are
called
you
Brothers
drinking, Scott?
Bond. It's called Brothers
What
Bond
is
whiskey.
it?
It's really good. I see. It's just a bourbon of some kind. I see you're drinking Jameson. Do you ever drink anything else?
Josh is drinking.
He likes the Jameson. He's been
Yeah,
stuck on it for a couple of months now.
Josh is drinking Chocola.
Chocola?
Very nice.
What's
Very
that?
nice.
Chocolate cola.
Chocolate cola?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll. Oh.
I saw the beer cans on the floor. Several of them. I think I know
There
what he's
were none.
drinking. Mark, you said you had a joke. I want to hear this joke.
What does a blonde say after she has sex?
No clue.
Are you guys all on the same team?
That's so bad.
That's just bad. That's just bad. I don't know why you would say something like that.
I got a blonde joke. Admittedly, this is bad, but I'm going to tell it anyways.
Okay.
Two blondes are walking through the woods, and they come across a set of tracks. One of them says, those are bear tracks. The other one says, no, those are deer tracks. And they sit there and they keep arguing back and forth till they get hit by a train. I said it was bad. I said it was bad, man. I said it was bad.
Okay, before we start before we start talking about what we're going to talk about, what's the update on California on fires? Because you're right, you're close to
Yeah, it seems to be like, is it whipping around Los Angeles a little bit, or is it pretty well contained?
It seems like the Pacific Palisades and Altadena fires they're not expanding. There was the Hughes fire out by Castaic that erupted a couple days ago, but that's supposedly okay-ish, but it's hard to tell. You know, it's hard to tell.
Have you driven around and seen how?
You can't really get into a lot of those neighborhoods. Sometime, depending on the neighborhood, you need like a police escort. They're barred off. The closest I was in Pasadena. What was it, yesterday? The day before?
Yeah.
You know, so pretty close by. But I haven't really made the attempt. I'll be seeing plenty of them very, very, very soon and dealing with a lot of very upset people who lost their homes every day, very, very, very soon. And I'll let you guys know. But right now, it's hard to get into the areas. When I need to go in there to see a home, we just can't do it. Like the homeowners are telling us it's not possible. They're not allowed in. Police aren't letting them in. So I was supposed to go there Monday, but it got canceled.
That was actually brought up at like that. That was actually brought up at like the Trump roundtable yesterday.
Yeah, it was.
Where he was like, people want to go back to their homes and start like cleaning stuff up. And Karen Bass was like, well, we have to worry about the hazardous waste. And of that's being taken completely out of context because they're cutting it off right there. Like the press is running with it because they're snipping it off right there with, what are you talking about? What's hazardous waste? When the whole clip says, what are you going to classify as hazardous waste? How long is this going to take? In California, like anything could be hazardous waste.
Yeah. I could go on forever about the bullshit lead and asbestos abatement procedures and everything that we have to do here. Not that it's complete bullshit, but you know, it's run amok. Everything gets crazier than it needs to be, kind of shit when it comes to environmental hazards.
Is it true that it takes 18 months, like before this fire? It takes 18 months to get a permit to like build anything out there because the red tape is so.
It can, even with home repairs and stuff like that, you can easily be at the mercy of the city for like 6 months. That's pretty standard. It can last longer than that, but it can go quickly too. It's just you're at the mercy of things that are beyond your control, and that's what it is. It can go that long. It doesn't always. So some people have good luck, some don't. It's just luck of the draw.
You're at the mercy of the bureaucracy, but you might luck out somehow.
Yes, exactly. Depending on if the guy had a good sandwich for lunch that day or something. You know how bureaucracy works. It's complete shit. But generally speaking, you're absolutely right. There's probably something to be said for hazardous cleanup, but it shouldn't be taking nearly as long as they're saying. It's ineptitude, it's bureaucracy. it's bad governance, it's all that shit. I'm
Well,
sure you're
Trump was
absolutely
saying
right.
24 hours, right?
No, he literally was like, "Let them back to
That's
their homes right now."
that's Trump hyperbole. That's too quick. You
Of
do
course.
need to worry about hazardous cleanup. I mean, you've got Tesla batteries melting down, shit like that. Take a couple weeks after the fires, clean it out, let people back in. That's my humble opinion. Maybe a month, get things out of there, let people back in. But be reasonable. Let's have a reasonable time frame and let's get rid of the red tape. Whether they're going to do that or not, they probably won't. It'll probably be all fucked up. But the eye of Sauron of the country is on them right now. So maybe things will actually go okay. We'll see.
Well, we'll see.
I
Well,
hope
we'll
so.
see. Scott, you remember the Maui fires?
Unfortunately, yes, that was awful.
Guess how many houses have been rebuilt out of 1,500 homes burned to the ground. Guess how many have been
I'm going to
built
guess
since
just a handful, if any at all.
three, three,
Okay.
What is that? The
three,
Rock House and
three.
Oprah's house and who else?
Well, those didn't burn down.
We'll see, man. There's going to be shenanigans. It should be something that we study.
It's a highly regulated state. They have lots of environmental protections, and of course, you want Hawaii to have, environmental protection. Duh, Ashley. But it's just the red tape and everything. It's just
If
it's
it's
a
still
nightmare.
not cleaned up in 6 months, that's a real possibility, by the way. 6 months, it's still not being cleaned up. There's something seriously wrong. Things should be started within a couple weeks. If that happens, if things start in a couple weeks, I'll feel a lot better. But I'm not sure that's going to happen.
And all of what we were just talking about has quite a bit to do with what we were going to, what the subject matter was going to be, because the topic that you asked me about was what makes a good political candidate.
Yeah.
And California is so rife with, like, Brad Sherman and like tons of politicians, Adam Schiff, like really people that like look repulsive and act repulsive and have no good ideas about anything, right? And you're like, and it's like, what makes a good political candidate? And normal people look at somebody like that and go, how could somebody that that looks like that and talks like that and acts like that and isn't very bright, how do they how do you get to be a United States senator from the state of California? And so you said you were going to ask me a couple things about what makes a good political candidate, and let's
Yeah.
go there.
Let's go. I'm going to have to argue with you a little bit. I don't think they have any ideas at all. You have to have an idea to have a bad idea. I don't even think they've thought that far. Mark, I've often thought that you are more intelligent than AI. I've often thought that. Would you agree?
Joe, no, that's just a bad. Yeah, don't make his head bigger.
So, Mark, I use Claude, the AI. I asked him, or whatever you want to refer to the AI as, what makes a good political candidate? And here are the four things that he said. Number
Ooh,
one,
that's good.
a strong understanding of policy and governance, a deep comprehension of everything that makes policy and governance. Number two, proven leadership experience and the ability to build a consensus across different groups. Number three, integrity and transparency with a consistent record of ethical behavior, being honest about your successes and your failures. And lastly, number four, the ability to listen and adapt, to evolve their positions when presented with new evidence. Mark, do you think that's correct or incorrect? Where do you agree
Two
or
should
disagree?
two should be those are all valid. Those are all valid, but two should be number one. Two is leadership ability, correct?
Two is leadership ability, leadership experience, and the ability to build a consensus across different groups.
Yeah, yeah. That's what makes and of course, like we just talked about, like sometimes it's just a lot of times it's just plain pure luck. Jimmy Carter was a peanut farmer turned one-term governor, not necessarily all that successful governor in Georgia, and became president of the United States within 18 months. Barack Obama was a state senator who got appointed to a vacant Senate seat, was in the United States Senate for a couple of years, and became president of the United States. So
Hmm.
oftentimes, it's just pure fucking luck. You need money to be in politics. You need, you know, you need to have like all kinds of connections in whatever your party you're in, but especially if you're in the Democratic Party, because that machine is well oiled. So many times it's just pure luck, but it could also be pure luck back in the day. Abraham Lincoln was a one-term congressman from Illinois, and that was like 8-10 years before he was running for the Republican nomination to be president. He had nothing.
Would you
He
say
had no money.
would you say
No,
Kamala Harris was luck? Yeah, I
she was
don't
a
think that was exactly luck, but
yeah. Well,
kind
yeah,
of.
it was. It really was. No, it really was luck.
DEI luck.
It really was luck.
The
Well,
reason I
yeah,
asked you about the subject earlier is because I was thinking about the modern social media podcast age versus
yeah,
anything pre 2017, basically, right? It seems like it was a different world. Like, to be a good political candidate, you have to be able to hang with a 3 hour long, authenticity based podcast like Joe Rogan. I think from here on out, to be taken seriously in any
no,
higher office.
that's very smart. That really is very smart. And guess who did
Do
that
you
this
think
past go round?
look at what
Trump did
happened.
it.
Kamala
Yeah,
couldn't hang,
right?
like not even for 30 minutes, not even for 20 minutes probably. And in
No,
anything to
no,
there's no authenticity there. I think that's a good thing. I don't
no.
know what I think it's a great thing that there's that you have to hit that bar now. What do you think?
It's chef kiss perfection because
Give us a chef kiss.
give us it's chef kiss because um, everybody knows that traditional media is just dying. Like
Yeah.
people aren't watching ABC, CBS, and NBC News anymore. Cable news has a smaller and smaller share of the ratings, especially CNN, MSNBC, um, PBS, right? So yeah, in the internet age,
The only time I see anything from CBS or NBC or any of those is a clip of somebody talking shit about how stupid they are. And they show that clip. That's literally the only time I ever see those stations. It's crazy.
right? Yeah,
They're
it's
relevant.
insane. And a really good example of that, just to be right up to date, was yesterday. The United States Secret Service showed up at the house at a house next to a school. They were investigating a credible threat, and um, the reported story from all three networks was ICE agents show up at Chicago school. School teachers protect their immigrant children and wouldn't allow them in. Well, they weren't ICE agents; they were Secret Service agents, and they never tried to enter the school. It was literally a completely bogus story. But Chicago Public Schools said that's what happened, and every network ran with it, and every journalist in Washington ran with it. And of course, 9 hours later, you find out not only were they not ICE agents, nobody was there to round up children in school and fly them off to Mexico. So, yeah.
It's extremely silly, the news. Um, I tried to look up. I tried to pull up something that I posted, and now stuck behind a paywall, so I can't pull it up. That's a little bit frustrating.
Do,
But
do you know? Do you know how to climb the paywall?
I don't. And I'll tell you what I'm not going to do is pay for fucking Business Insider. I'm not paying for that to look
Oh,
up
you
one of
know
their
what?
articles.
Actually, it's no. It's funny that you mentioned that because they have one of the most impenetrable paywalls there is. Like
Really?
I can get around a New York Times. I know I can get around a New York Times paywall and a
How?
Washington Post paywall. So most of the time, the best way to get around a paywall is instead of like going to the website and looking for the article that you want to see, or Googling the article you want to see, right, and clicking it, is to just copy the title of the article, put it in your search engine, and oftentimes with the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Post, the New York Times, you will bypass the paywall. Not always,
There's a replication of
not
other
always,
sources.
not always. And then there's the archive. There's that Internet Archive that I forget the IP address of, but if I were like, an owner of Business Insider, I'd be really happy with the people who set up my paywall.
Okay, yeah, no, that's good to know. I'm gonna try that.
Yeah.
The
That was a went round the
t-
bend on that one.
Yeah.
uh,
We're gonna have to wrap it up too.
No, we're good.
Huh?
We're at 16. We can keep going for a little bit.
Josh is like,
16?
this is the only time I get to drink. Just keep going, man. Just keep going. Let me finish a couple more
What?
beers. I can't
So
drink
are
after
you
this.
really going to chug a Jameson bottle
It's
again?
not the only time.
Look at this, Bill. Look at this.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't. Yeah, that's how you're supposed to do it.
Like what? That's how I drink. That's how I drink my bottles. What? What's wrong with it? It's supposed to go
Yeah.
inside the mouth. Oh man.
You should have seen the way he was eating cheese sticks the other day. My God.
Very, very sexual, the way that you eat and drink everything. I guess I would close with this. Is there any chance okay, so I picture the old ideal candidate as far as the general public would be concerned is like a Gavin Newsom type. In the future, is there any relevance for a Gavin
Wait,
Newsom?
how is Gavin the ideal candidate? Give me some context.
He's handsome, he's smart, and he has a lot of money.
What is that?
In that sense, exactly what Mark said. That's what I'm saying. In a traditional who's a good candidate sense. Not that he'd be good at being a politician.
Very articulate.
Okay.
He's attractive on camera. He's not. I mean, let's face it. He's not Jerry Nadler. I mean, if I got to go gay for a politician, it's going to be probably Gavin Newsom. Let's just.
You're not a Pete
Let's be
Buttigieg
honest
guy.
here. Let's be honest here.
I'm just throwing that.
Yeah, I think.
I don't know. Should it be the
Don't
the
don't hate a man for being
governor
honest.
of Texas in the wheelchair? What good's that going to do me?
You don't want to know Greg Abbott?
Is there any chance for that kind of look, that charm, that money, that whole Gavin Newsom thing in the future? Considering what we just talked about of having to be authentic on a Joe Rogan type podcast for 3 hours,
Yeah.
does he have a chance?
He's
Does
not
that
gonna do
type
that.
have a chance?
No. Oh no! I think Joe Rogan would smoke Gavin Newsom.
Yeah.
Because I think he would literally go. I think he would. I think he like one of the first things he would say to him is when you had everybody in California locked down, you were at the French Laundry without a mask on, having dinner having a lavish dinner, having a lavish dinner party at a really expensive restaurant when you had an outdoor mask mandate on and told people not to leave their house. I don't know how
That's
much.
all he'll have to say.
I don't know how much more clear you can be. Like,
so Scott, you did a Claude. Sorry, Mark.
No,
you did a Claude. I did a Copilot, and I came up with 7 answers as to what makes a good political candidate. The last one was being humanity and adaptability, and that kind of plays into what you were just saying there. There is no humanity involved with it.
There's no humanity with a man like Gavin Newsom. It's just the Patrick Bateman American Psycho memes are a meme for a reason.
You've seen the videos of him being like harassed by the mothers that they lost their house. There is no school anymore. There's no rec center or anything. The daughters are playing softball. The fields are gone. And he's just like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah. The Will Ferrell meme. Yeah, it's.
There you go.
I'm curious to see what happens, but I don't think there's any chance for him. But yeah, let's call it.
Let's call it.
My drink's empty. That's good enough right there.